Hi guys, it's Michelle with Deception Bytes, and I am picking up from where we left off with the Q post. Today is April 17th. It's 2:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we got caught up last night with all the posts up until today's, and so we're going to start with today's. There's only a few, but there's some jaw-dropping information here for real. So let's get to it. I've already recorded this whole thing once. Well, no, I've already gone through this whole thing once, but I had not hit record. And so when I went to shut it off, it wasn't on, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So here we are going through it for the second time. And I wanted to show you this as well, because I picked this up somewhere. I'm not sure if I got this from Twitter or where I got it. Maybe from the boards, I'm not sure. But it's good. It shows the relationship between these three. Sergey Brin, who's the co-founder of Google and the president of Alphabet Inc., and he was married to Anne. I'm not going to butcher her last name, but they were married from 2007 to 2015, and she's the co-founder of 23andMe, net worth $1 billion. And her sister is Susan, and I won't say her last name, and she's the CEO of YouTube. So Q is saying to note relationships here, and so this just kind of lays it out and in a really good way. So let's go on. Let's start with the Q post from this morning, and Q says, RR, boom, Q. Now, RR has always been in the past Rod Rosenstein, so there's no reason to think that it's anything other. And I would assume, I don't know what this is concerning, but I would assume that something's going to happen with Rod Rosenstein, some sort of a, quote, a bombshell. So we can, you know, keep alert for that, because usually Q will tell us something, it happens in the future, and then the future proves the past. So I think that's what he's doing here. I think that's pretty obvious. And then the next Q post is boom, 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 boom. And there's five, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation marks, and he signs off Q. Now, in the past, the booms had to do with Hillary Clinton. I don't know what this is referencing. To tell you the truth, but I assume that it's something similar to this, where when it happens, you know, future will prove past, and we'll come back and go, okay, that's what he was referring to here. That tends to be a pattern that Q follows. So this Anon writes, good morning, hashtag do it Q. Big day for me, got interviews, first time in over a year. Here's hoping. And Q responds to this. And I don't know what's happened here. Okay. Well, darn it. Q responds and says, good luck and God bless. And I think that's very sweet that he acknowledged this person who had interviews for the first time in over a year. I think that that's testament to the strong economy. People are getting back to work, and that's a very good thing. And Q took time to wish this person luck and God bless. So the next one, Q says, referring to, now Q is referring to, hang on here. Oh yeah. Okay. First, this Anon posts this, and he's referring to the RR boom Q post, and he says, good morning, Q. He obviously saw that post and knew that Q was posting and wished him a good morning. And Q responds to this person and says, rays of light. Good morning, rays of light, he responds. Now that's Christopher Wray, of course, director of the FBI, 8th director of the FBI, and then he just signs off Q. Now, I don't know what this is referencing, but it's obviously a good thing. It's not like the RR boom. I don't think boom is a good thing. Rays of light, I think, would be. And I don't know what this is referring to, but I think we probably will know soon. Now, we've got a couple more posts to go through, and there's no alluding to it in further posts, but we don't know. It could be something in the news. It could be any number of things that happens. And again, we'll come back and go, oh, okay, that's what he was talking about. But I would say that this is referring to Ray in a very positive light, pardon the pun, but All right. Well, actually, that wasn't a pun. So let's go on. Now, we're about to get to something really, really, really interesting, okay? And here's this guy, this anon, posts this picture from another anon and then replies underneath it, made this graphic based on another anon's catch. Good work. Well, I don't think it's good work, personally. I don't see the correlation at all between these two. Not at all. This says Parkland is a distraction. Parkland was specifically organized and designed to distract, test, watch the news. Actors are acting fake, no power. Justice will be served to those playing the game, all. He's saying justice will be served to all those playing the game. Guns are safe, trust the plan, Q. Then Q posts this. The Second Amendment will never be repealed. As much as Democrats would like to see this happen, and despite the words yesterday of former Supreme Court Justice Stevens, no way. We need more Republicans in 2018 and must always hold the Supreme Court. Now, this person is making a correlation between this all and the word always. Yeah. Very next Trump tweet definitely matches. Q, all, Trump, always. They're not even referring to the same thing. He's saying we must always hold the Supreme Court. I don't get it. So to me, this is just distraction. I think, personally. I think this is distraction. Like, this is talking about distraction. This is distraction. And I'm seeing it on my comments a lot. I'm seeing it on the boards. It's unbelievable how many people are in there just distracting. Like, some of them aren't professionals, but some of them are just people that don't believe in Q and think it's ridiculous, and they're in there and they have to give their two cents. And then there's people that are paid to be in there and they just throw up distractions and misinformation. And I'm seeing it on my comments as well. There's like a huge increase of craziness. And I've been trying to delete them, but when the comments get up into the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I just don't have time to be deleting them all because I would never be able to do anything else. I do try to read as many as I possibly can, but anyway, let's move on. Just be aware that that's happening, and if you see crazy posts, that's what's happening. I do try to weed them out, but not always successful. All right, so this person posts this, says, made this graphic based on another anon's catch. Good work. Now, Q responds to this, but not how I would expect. Q acknowledges this post, doesn't say yay or nay about it, but then goes off on a completely different subject. Completely different. And I will say right now, this is why I get frustrated with 8chan, and because I have looked at some of the people decode this, and it's utter lunacy. Absolute utter lunacy. Come on, people. Like, logic. And when it comes to decoding something, like, okay, BDT, I didn't know what that is. I didn't know what it was at first. And I started thinking all the different things in my mind. Well, several people out there somewhere said it was a bomb disposal technician. What? No, it isn't. And I'll tell you how. When you decode this stuff, when you see something like that, my first thing is, has Q used this before? And in what context did he use it? Because Q is going to use the same throughout. He's very consistent. Q is very consistent. So, and usually, he's always saying, learn our communications. Well, in all these months of doing this, we have. A lot of us have learned how Q communicates. So, first of all, I went out to see, has he used this before? Yes. Yes, he has used it before. And this is BDT and DEFCON. These are connected. Connected. It's an and. So, BDT and DEFCON. Where has that been used before? Well, it has. BDT stands for Bulk Data Transfer. Bulk Data Transfer and DEFCON. When was DEFCON used? When was the last time DEFCON was in the news? Hawaii, January, in regards to Hawaii. So, isn't it, it should be no shock to us that both BDT and DEFCON showed up in Q's post concerning Hawaii. And then he says direct. Now, he's talking about a direct bulk data transfer. And we're going to see how this makes sense, okay? Because the rest of the stuff out there is just, whoo, out there. Okay. There is a theory that the Hawaii false alarm, and personally, I don't think this is a theory. I think this is it, and I believe this, and a lot of times I'll say, oh, I'm 99.9% sure. No, I'm 100% sure. Like, I am so absolutely convinced this is it. Because we have to use logic, and this fits like a glove. Okay, there's a theory that the Hawaii false alarm was actually done to get an automatic bulk data transfer from the NSA in Hawaii to the mainland. Is this credible? Yes, I would say it is. The theory is that by letting the bomb alert continue for a further 38 minutes after it was found to be a false alarm, the alarm triggered a fail-safe that sends all data back to the mainland servers. The extra 38 minutes for that transfer to occur unhindered. They also said that Trump's stop on his way home from the Asia trip was an attempt to gain access to these servers, but even the president was locked out. Now, okay, I'm going to lay this all out for you, okay? I'm going to go out to this link, and I'm going to lay it out for you. Let me make this, well, that's too, hang on. All right, that's as big as I can make it and still read it. All right, this is all laid out for you, and once I'm through this, I know that you will be convinced as well. Now, DEFCON 1, this post by Q was made on January 7th, okay? And Q says DEFCON 1, 4-10-20, which is Donald J. Trump, 4 being D, 10 being J, 20 being T, fire and fury. 9 states of class ready, go live. 34 commands, live. Codes, command, action. Non-nuclear, 1, owl, 1, Q. Now, none of us knew what all this meant because nothing had been in the news yet. It was January 7th. Hawaii missile alert didn't happen until January 13th. So, you know how he says future proofs past. Well, obviously, Q had foreknowledge of this, right? So he posts this here. Then we've got the Hawaii missile alert that happens on the 13th. Now, later on the 13th, what does Q post? DEFCON 1, non-nuke false command. Why? Necessary? No such agency. NSA. Where did POTUS stop post-Asia? Well, it was Hawaii. It was necessary for God and country. It was necessary. No other vehicle to regain entry. There was no other way they could get into that database. Everyone was locked out. They were locked out of it. There was no other way to get into that database, and they needed to get into that database, and I'll show you why in a second. No other vehicle to regain entry. And indeed, he stopped there. He couldn't even get in it. Again, direct pre-knowledge. Again, warning alert. Think BDT, bulk data transfer. So Q is telling us, command. Did we give the command? Why? Was it necessary? Yeah, it was necessary. NSA. Where did POTUS stop? Post-Asia. Hawaii. It was necessary. For God and country. It was necessary. He tells us that like 3 times here. It was necessary. There wasn't any other way. There was no other vehicle to regain entry. They couldn't get into the database. Again, direct pre-knowledge. He's referring to this. He wrote this then, and the alert happened on the 13th. This is later on the 13th. He's saying, yeah, again, there was direct pre-knowledge. Again, there was a warning alert. Think bulk data transfer. Now, here's another big coinky-dink. Later that day, Trump retweets this. Hillary's 33,000 emails might not be missing after all. For months now, we've been told that Hillary Clinton's 33,000 missing emails were permanently erased and destroyed beyond recovery. But newly released FBI notes they didn't have them, and then this same day, this is 13th of January, all of this happened. Same day, all 3 things. So these two are definitely related, so why wouldn't we think this would be? Because they didn't have them. Now all of a sudden they've got this bulk data transfer. They've been able to get this off of the database in Hawaii, and the emails suddenly show up. Oh. Now, so what was the alert all about? The only way the president could grab the NSA databases was by triggering an attack alarm that set into motion a bulk data transfer that gave him access to the databases at their destination in the continental US. Makes perfect sense. There's always the possibility of the island being nuked. So what would happen to that data? They have to have something fail-safe in motion that if there's a threat, that it triggers something that all that data gets sent back to the mainland. That only makes sense. Why? Edward Snowden was in Hawaii overseeing a massive transfer of secret NSA surveillance databases to a new secure facility in Hawaii that would keep the databases out of the continental United States. The NSA was prepared for the possibility of an attack from Asia with an attack protocol, which would immediately, at first sign of an attack, begin a database transfer or bulk data transfer, a BDT, as Google points out, is the term of all databases back to the continental US. Now, to me, I don't know how anybody can argue that that's what Q is talking about. Everything fits like a glove. So that is this. BDT and DEF CON. How could you say it's anything else? I've just heard like completely crazy stuff out there that people are decoding this as. Like, come on, people. BDT and DEF CON. It's obvious and direct. It was direct because once the DEF CON went into that alert went into motion, it triggers something that releases all that in the database back to the continental US. Pretty obvious to me. So anyway, that's it for today's posts. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be more. I don't know. But if there are, I'll come back and we'll look at those as well. But That's it for today. Well, no, I don't know that that's it for today. I don't know, but that's it for now. That's it for this one. So if you want to be subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. And I'm really, really appreciative of you guys. I've got awesome listeners, and I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate my listeners, and I'll talk to you guys later, and I hope you have a good day. Stay safe.